Joseph passed into the house with the freedom of one who feels himself already a part of the family. Anna, Mary's mother, was busy over an earthen pot filled with live coals. She would spread the outside with freshly kneaded dough, and the heat would bake it into bread. Jehoiakim, Mary's father, strode forward. The two men bowed to each other ceremoniously, and the younger man kissed the father's beard. "Welcome, Joseph, welcome the more for coming early," said Jehoiakim heartily. Joseph seated himself beside the older man and plunged at once into his business. He had saved his money. He had improved the living quarters behind the house. He was ready to buy a goat and hens and a rooster. He wanted to marry Mary. Why would there be any delay? "Who makes delays?" demanded Jehoiakim. The carpenter glanced uneasily at Anna. "No, Joseph," said Mary's mother, looking over her shoulder as she patted the dough. "I will not stand in your way. I now know that you love Mary and that she loves you. There is really no sense in waiting. I am forced to agree with you about that. It will be better so. Have you fixed a date in your mind?" "I want to marry her yesterday," jested Joseph, and they all laughed. "But no, I have not fixed any date. I want to talk with Mary after supper tonight. I would like it better that way." To this, Jehoiakim, the father, made no comment, but his glance was a little puzzled. In his married life, he had made all the decisions. At least Anna had succeeded in making him believe so. Later, in the damp darkness of the Nazareth road, Joseph and Mary strolled and talked. They were full of their plans and felt a little awed by them. Completely occupied with a dozen small and enchanting details about their wedding, they were oppressed that soft evening with no foreboding. The clover-laden night winds carried no warning of what was in the air, and once, when the pair stood silent together and looked up at the lean and golden scimitar of the new moon and the glittering stars, and all earth seemed hushed for them to listen, they did not hear the faintest rustle of a wing. Minds and hearts filled only with their personal plans, it was late when they were ready to say good night, but they had come to a decision. Within 3 months, they would be married. Joseph would have liked it earlier, but Mary pointed out that there was still sewing to do and a few more shekels her father wanted to accumulate. She knew to fill out her modest dowry. 3 months would not seem so long now that the date was fixed. "I hope I see you early tomorrow," said Joseph when it was time for him to go home. "Very early, Joseph," she promised, "when I go to the well for the morning water." Their hands clasped and they parted. Joseph strode off bravely to his carpenter's shop. He flung himself down on his pallet with a happy sigh and buried his head in his arms. And he thought how fortunate he was among Nazarene men, how happy he was, and how much happier he was going to be soon. Soon he fell asleep. Sleeping, he dreamed only of the slight, inconsequential phantasmagoria that all men dream of. Mary's blue mantle blowing in the cover-laden wind and Mary's dream-laden eyes. No grand dreams such as his ancestors, the prophets, had known in olden days. No foreseeing of what was on the way, marching in a mighty silence toward the earth.